Hello fellow builders, welcome back to the bench. We're on part 4 of our Colonial Mandalorian Jetpack build, Jetpack armor build. And as you can see, we have a blank canvas. So a couple of things that I always say we, like there's a team of it. A couple of things that I've done to get this thing ready is, one, we've got Velcro closures on the side. So we got our size set. And then the nice thing about this is I can actually draw right on to this foam with a pencil. Now, I learned the hard way. I was doing it with Sharpie, and on the other Mandalorian, what would happen was when I painted it, you can see the marks on the through the paint. So I switched over to pencil because I can actually kind of erase with it too. Got to be a little bit careful, but a lot of this is getting covered up. So what we're going to do is, well, I had to sketch out a design to what I kind of thought this needed to look like. Take a look. How am I going to get that? Well, I'm still trying to figure that part out, because I'm going to, like how do you eat an elephant? One step at a time. I'm going to do this by just picking a part of the design, cutting it out, getting it glued on there, and then figuring out from there what's the next piece. So what I figured I'll do is I'll start with the centerpiece, and I'm going to do, I guess, the ribs off to the side, right? And then I'll work on the top piece, because I've got it marked off. I don't know if you can see that. I've got it marked off for the Mandalorian heart. I don't want to just use the regular Mandalorian heart. I want to figure out a way to incorporate that with something that's Battlestar Galactica. Not sure what that's gonna be quite yet, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. First things first, we gotta get the who's what's it's on the thingamajig. So we're gonna work on that. We're making progress. One thing I did change, what I was going to do was have a flat piece of foam here, and then a gap, foam gap, and then I remembered I had some half round, and I liked the way the half round gives it more texture. So that's why. So the design I drew isn't necessarily the final way it's going to be. I also feel like I painted myself into a corner because I've got this long straight line there, and I'm like, that just doesn't look good. I want to break that up, because in the drawing, these angles kind of cut it a little bit closer, but some of us are broad. You got to go with what you got. So one way that I thought about compensating for this is I changed the size of my iron heart, and so I went with a little bit larger iron heart, and I put it on my center line, and it's going to help bisect my chest area. So I like the way this is coming out, but I still feel like I need something here and here. And even something to maybe break that straight line up. I got to figure out what to do with that. So we're gonna keep at it. We'll figure it out. Not quite sure what we're going to do, though. Well, this is my first attempt at trying to paint my way out of this corner. And it really wasn't that difficult. This is what happens when you overthink it. Basically, took some of my brown paper and I made a square, taped it there, started to cut my edge here and there. And it came out straight, right? Then I just took another piece of paper. I had an oddly shaped piece of paper, and it didn't, so the straight edge was there, so I did it like that. That's why this tape edge is there. And just started taping my sides down. Added another piece of paper. Tape, tape, tape. And so now I actually have a pattern that I can deal with. All I got to do now is peel it off and lay it on my foam, cut it out. Now, since this isn't symmetrical, I won't be able to just flip it and do the other side, so I'm going to have to do the same to the other side. But at the very least, I've got a good basis going on here. And I'm already thinking about, I kind of like the way this is setting itself up, so this will be probably one solid piece that I don't do anything to other than regular texturing, because I'll have that. But the shoulder, I want to have maybe some shoulder padding, or at least some kind of outline. So I've got my half round, and I know I'm going to probably lay it on my corners like that. But to accent my shoulder, I will probably have something like that. You know, I'll cut my corner, but I'll have something that's going to define these two pieces, separated this from this. So now we get to go cut some foam. Well, it's been a couple of days and I've had a chance to kind of think about what I'm doing here, and I've added some extra pieces to the armor to allow it to break up some of the problems I was having. You want to see it? Check it out. Okay, so yeah, do I still have the straight line? But yes I do. But it's still going to be, like I said, broken up by the iron heart, and then with these accent pieces of these half rounds, making some, just defining separate areas. I think it's done a really good job of making this more the way I want it. And then I kind of cleaned up my edges here on the side. And the end of the day, I'm trying to make this look like leather. And what I have done is used the 2mm foam, kind of like fondant on a cake, because I had two pieces of foam sandwich glued together to make the thickness up here, right? And I wanted to smooth it all out, and just using the 2mm foam, gluing it down, heating it up a little bit, and then folding it back, and then gluing it on the inside, it's brought it all together. At least in my mind, it's brought it all together. And it, like I said, kind of like the way fondant makes the cake look more smooth, so you can texture on top of it. It has cleaned up my edges, and the way the foam is folding, it reminds me of leather. The way it kind of like fabric. So once I actually get, where are we at now? We're at texturing. We're trying to make the foam look like leather. I'll say this, I just tried this on, and the way I've got my Velcro straps done, I've got them to where I can, by myself, fold the one piece down and pull the back piece forward. And it fits snug, it feels good, so I'm very happy with the way this is starting to come out. But we have to give this more texture. So the three people that I follow when it comes to dealing with foam are Bill Duran. He's done some Foamsmith books, Evil Ted Smith, and the I think his name is Steve at SKS Props. So if he's got, now SKS Props has a tricorn pirate hat that he did, that he made the foam look so much like leather, and that's what I'm using to as a springboard to make this look like leather. He was giving the foam texture, and the way he does that, he used the foam ball method. I just noticed as I was editing my video that I keep saying foam ball method. What I meant to say was foil ball method. It's a ball of foil. And if you're watching the video, you can see that. So, yeah. All right. I'm going to say it a couple more times. Just know that I corrected myself. And it works so much better than I thought. Because all you have to do is just heat your foam up. Alright? Get it warm. Alright? You take the foam ball. And I'm saying, I am very conservative, and I typically don't get that aggressive, but I'm telling you, man, you want it to look good, get in there. Get aggressive with it. So I still have this piece, and then the entire back to do, so I'm going to knock that out real quick. And then we're going to get some Plasti Dip on here. The main thing you want to do, though, when you're doing this is make sure you keep the heat away from where you've already textured, because the heat will take it back out. You don't want to do that. Since I know the Jetpack is going to be in this area, it's going to take up a lot of this room, I'm not going to worry about texturing right here in the center. So I really just need to get back here, and then maybe along there, and then we're ready for some Plasti Dip. Okay, I have a layer of the Plasti Dip on there, and it's starting to take shape, and it's dried for probably about an hour. So the next color is, I found this Krylon satin leather brown, and I couldn't wait, so I started painting. So here we go. That's looking pretty good. Problem is, it's fall. Temperature's dropping, and it's 37 degrees outside. I've got the garage door cracked open to get some air in here, but it's slowing down my drying time. So I'm gonna go on ahead and get this covered so I can close the garage, let the fumes out, close the garage door, and let the garage start to warm up again. But that's a good base layer. See, it's still wet down here. This is dry. It's not even tacky. But the next step would be, so you can see where the texture, now you may not be able to see it. Can you? Definitely here on the side. So we're gonna have to give a black wash after the brown leather dries, but that may take at least a day. So, yep, we're pressing on. Looks like leather, feels like foam. It's been a couple of days, and I had to go out of town, so it's had a couple of days to dry, and I am very happy with the way it looks. And that's the back. Check out that. I mean, that's looking really good. The texturing it's all there. So we're gonna try and get us a black wash going on here. We're gonna start on the back so we can perfect it on the back and work our way to the front. So I've stopped and picked up some acrylics. This is a Crafts Smart Cocoa Bean, and it's kind of it's a little bit darker brown, but it's pretty close to that color. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna put some of that in there, and then I've got some black. We're gonna put a little black in there and darken it up a little bit. Yeah, that shouldn't take that much. Yeah, it's not dark enough, and not anywhere near enough paint. So we're gonna this is all, this portion of it is kind of new to me, so I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of, I'm going to roll with it. See what we get. Anything we mess up, we'll figure out how to fix it. So the black is Wicked Colors black. Like I said, using what I got. There you go. There you go. I know I wanted to go for more of a red brown. I think that's doing that for me. All right. If you want to weather your leather, you may have to leather your weather. Springtime's a memory, summer is gone. Temperatures dropping, there's dew on the lawn. Fear not, fellow builders, because we'll have some more fun. The paint will be drying with the assistance of heat gun. Okay, this is what we're going to do. One, I bought regular Ziploc food containers. There's a little bit of paint left in there, so we're just going to cap this, and that way we'll have it for tomorrow, because I'm going to let this dry as much as I can. I don't have any major runs. No major drips. We're just going to let this air dry overnight. Okay. Well, good morning. here's where we stand now. I got up and I started thinking, you know, this bottom edge needs paint. And so I flipped it over because it was just white. And so, good idea to flip it upside down, and then you can see a different angle on what you may have missed. And there are a couple of different things. So I painted some of the inside shoulders and like the outer edge. But when I stepped back to look at it, I could see where I'm getting the blotchiness that I want in the variations of the brown, but it's not subtle. And so I thought about doing a dusting of over the top, and then I came up with the idea of, instead of using another brown to dust with, why don't I dust with like a metallic gray to give it like a glittery flake? Because the idea is metallic infused, Beskar infused leather. It's just a good idea, and like I said, I tested it on the back, and I'm not talking about anything. So I'm talking about just dusting it. So, let me move my coffee. A dusting. So basically, stepping back and just kind of just enough to give it a little bit of a glisten, a glitter. Alright. But therein lies the problem. I have to let that stuff dry. I have to let this dry. Then I need to clear coat it again. So I guess I'm gonna call it for now. I really wanted to get to the backpack portion of it, but seeing where we started and seeing where we're ending up, I'm pretty happy. And again, I can't leave wool enough alone. I designed my own Iron Heart in Fusion 360, so I've got that print going. Well, since we really can't do anything until we let this dry and put another coat of clear on there, we're going to call it good for now. I really wanted to get to the Jetpack portion of it, but it is what it is. In the meantime, I'd like to see what you're building. So, like and subscribe to my channel, and send me some pictures of what you're working on, and we can share some ideas. I actually ended up running across a deal on a new resin print, my very first resin printer. I'm going to get that running. Thank you, Justin, on that. And I guess we'll see you next time. So until then, have fun, be safe, and go build something. Pew 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 pew.